All right, so a very warm welcome back to everyone. So if you're excited, go ahead on the YouTube. If you're able to see me clearly and hear me clearly, just go ahead and type out something very exciting. So that let's go ahead and get started with the next session. All right. Yep. All right. So a very warm welcome. All right. Thank you so much for all those lovely comments. Let's go ahead and get started. The next author who's going to come up is very special in her own way. She was just 2 or 3 years old when she started writing. When I heard this for the first time, I was actually surprised. I said, how can that happen? She's about 7 years old now, and I had an amazing interview with her. And because of the time zone difference, because she lives in a different country, we were not able to get her live. But I have done the entire interview, and we are going to play that for you now. Okay, so let's go ahead and give a round of applause in the comments, and let's get started with the interview with Chryseis Knight, the world's youngest author, right? And for people who have just logged into Udaan 2021, Udaan is an initiative by Gabriel Books, where we are, impacting and motivating young people like you, the students out there, to go ahead and write. And who knows, you can be next published author. So I'm going to take you to the interview now. So stay tuned. All right, everyone. We have world's youngest author with us, Chryseis Knight. And hi, Chryseis.
Hi.
All
Hi,
right.
Mr. Fahim.
Thank you very much. You can actually call me Fahim. That would be sweet enough. Okay. All right. So, quick question. Where are you based out of? Where are you right now sitting?
I'm sitting in Canada, in Ontario, and the town is Aurora.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, you are world's youngest author. How old are you today?
Oh, I'm 7 years old, and I was 3 years old when I wrote The Great Decline.
That's awesome. When I was 3 years old, I did not know how to write even the word author. So yeah, good on that. Right. So you started writing at the age of 3, right? And your first book was The Great Big Lie, right? Awesome. Now, The Great Big Lion, for everybody who's watching, backed her a deal with with PRH India. So let's hear about how did that happen.
Okay. So I actually sent my first edition, which had gotten published in Singapore, and I actually sent a handwritten note too. And actually, it was the best time of my life when they accepted it. So that's what happened. I just sent it to them.
All right.
And I was waiting to see what they said.
That's awesome. So nobody can say among the audience that they are too young to write a book because you have already broken the record. All
yeah.
Right. Awesome. Now talking about India, have you ever come to India? Have you been to India?
No, I've never been to India, but I know that there's beautiful fabrics there and really good food. And there are also really good beaches there, I've heard.
Yeah, of course. The city I live in has got world's second longest beach. So you should visit India once or many times.
I love the beach. I just love making sand castles and getting one in the water and playing by beach ball. It's so much fun. So I'm definitely going to visit the world's second longest beach.
Absolutely. Now, talking a little about your book, the characters Tom and Lily, right? So I'm an author myself, so I understand that you always get inspired looking at something to write about it. Okay, so what inspired you to bring this character to life?
Oh, it was actually Tom and Lily was like me and my brother. So that was and me and my brother was a newborn, but I was thinking about the time where he was gonna get older. So Tom and Lily was like me and my brother in the story.
That's really nice. So you can actually, this is for the viewers, who are watching. You can actually look at people around you and then probably derive a character of it that helps you to really, become very very imaginative, right? Okay. So Chryseis, what I'm going to do is play a small game with you. I'm going to show you world's four very popular characters, and I want you to guess them out of who these are. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, so let me just pull this up for you. All right, you're able to see my screen? You're able to see a screen, a yellow screen?
Yes, I can see a yellow screen.
All right, so have you ever seen this character?
It's the very hungry caterpillar.
All right, that's really nice. How about this? All right, number 3 is this.
Harry Potter.
Okay, and the 4th character, I don't know if you know this or not, but if you know this character, then speak a little more about this character. Are you ready?
Oh, that's the Great Big Lion, and he's actually the character in my book. So it was actually, oh my god! So it actually took a lot of time to draw him. Mm-hmm. So his head was really tough. I was sketching circles and circles until I thought that looked like a head. So I went with it. And then came the whiskers and the eyes and the nose and the mouth.
Right.
And the fabric was the hardest part because I had to stick it on and cut it. And I was 3 years old and I was just learning how to use the scissors. And there were frills coming out and it was crumpled. But you know what? Imperfection is beauty. So
absolutely. And yeah, so that's the character from her book, The Big Woods. All right, so let's talk a little more about being an author. Okay, so when you're an author, what writing process do you follow? Do you start, build, and conclude, or how do you go about writing?
Well, I start with my ideas like every author does. And sometimes when I don't know what I'm going to write for the first chapter or the first line, I just move on and write what I think is going to be in the story. So I just write, and then later it gets pieced up into the story. But that's not what happened for The Great Decline, but that's what's happening for my chapter book that I'm currently writing. It's a long chapter book, and I hope to get it published soon.
You will. So there's a takeaway for a lot of people who are watching. When you come up with an idea, just get started with the idea and start writing. And once you start writing, don't dilute this idea because you have something else coming up. Just complete the idea, and at the end of it, it's going to be a great book, right? All right. So let's go ahead and see how good are you as an author when it comes to some technical terms. So I'm going to call out some terms, some words, and you're gonna explain it for us. Ready? All right. What comes to your mind when I say manuscript?
That's actually what an author writes before they get it published.
Awesome. So manuscript is the first thing that you write, and that becomes your first copy, right? Okay. So what comes to your mind when I say draft?
Oh, like a rough version of writing.
Awesome. All right. What comes to your mind when I say editing? Okay. And what comes to your mind when I say paperback? Paperback.
Paperback? Oh, it's like a book on but it's not a board book, so it's on like paper.
All right. What comes to your mind when I say publish?
Getting your book.
Awesome. The last word
Hands up, readers.
Thumbs up. The last word is what comes to your mind when I say Udaan?
Festival.
All right. So that's the Lit Festival that we all are a part of, and we are helping a lot of students in India to get inspired, looking at you and other authors to become authors and make a great career out of it. Okay. So is there something that you want to share when it comes to Udaan? Udaan basically means to fly.
Yes. So there was a poem. It's called Fly Sky. Not like the blue sky, but it's spelled like SKYE. SKYE. Yes, that's right. And the first stanza is, I am a bird that likes to fly over the waters, nice and high. So over the waters gives you a sense of calm and peace. Yeah. And the second stanza is, I am a bird that likes to fly, touching the clouds in the sky. And that's like brings about the spirit of adventure, really adventurous. And the third stanza, it's the last stanza, is I am a bird that likes to fly, controlling the wind. My name is Sky. So that's the sky. And Sky is really strong and powerful because she's controlling the wind in her mind. So that's what my poem's about.
Very, very impressive. Very, very impressive. Round of applause for you and high five. Perfect. Awesome. So that's your new poem, right? Okay. Tell us a little more about your writing. Do you write on a physical book, or do you use digital medium like a laptop? Where do you write?
I like to write on a notebook, the traditional style. And the reason I do this is because I like to draw pictures at the side too.
Right, that's nice. So that helps you to actually write, and quickly whatever's in your mind you can put it on there, right? Perfect. All right. So how does it work? I mean, when you write, do you normally write only in one book, or a dedicated book for your writing, or do you write in different papers or different books and then bring your work together?
Well, if it's short stories, then what I do is get a notebook and I write them down. So if there's so many short stories, because a long story would probably take up the whole notebook, but short stories are just short stories. So a couple of pages. That's all I would use.
All right. So that's world's youngest author advising us on how to go ahead and write. So people who are watching, go ahead, grab your book, start writing what's coming to your mind, and who knows, you might be the next person I'll be interviewing. All right. So before letting you go, I would love to hear your work. So if you have your book handy, would you like to read your book for us?
Yes, I do.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
The Chryseis Night, The Great Big Lie. Drawn and written by a 3-year-old MENSA prodigy. That's me. Long, long ago, there was a great big lion. He lived in a forest near a quiet village. Every morning, the lion would roam around the village, stretch his legs, and roar! But the villagers were terribly scared of the lion. They would run into their homes whenever they heard him roar, except 2 brave little children named Tom and Lily. Tom and his sister Lily were curious to know everything about the great big lion. They loved to spy on him and hear him roar. But one morning, the lion was nowhere to be found. Where do you think he went? Let's find out. Tom and Lily were worried. They wondered where the lion could be. So off they went in search of the great big lion. Great big lion, where are you? Great big lion, how are you? They took giant steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and searched high and low, left and right, up and down, but they could not find the lion. He seemed to have vanished. Okay, I'm going to stop right here. So if you want to find out what happened to the lion, you can go and get my book.
Awesome. That's pretty nice. And when you were actually narrating the story, I was like, wow. I was just visualizing how the big great lion looks like and how Tom and Lily look like, how they would have actually gone. That's really nice. Okay. It's fun talking to you, and I'm sure that a lot of people who are watching this are now inspired to write. Guys, one quick advice from my side is, do not write with big expectations that your book will become big seller, great seller. You just write it out and then let the book do its work. It's your imagination, and expecting a lot of students to become writers. Looking at this world's youngest writer out there. Okay, so to conclude, it is a lot of fun talking to you. To conclude, would you like to just tell something to the young writers out there?
I would like to tell them that you just have to start writing to do it. You just have to start doing it to do it. Like what Roald Dahl says, a little magic can take you a long way. But also, if you don't believe in magic, those who don't believe in magic will never find it.
Awesome. That's really true. True. All right, it was fun talking to you. Thank you very much for taking out time, coming here, inspiring a lot of thousands of students out there. And we wish sometime you're in India, we'll be happy to welcome you here. Okay. Until next time, thank you very much and have fun.
Thank you so much for having me.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. So how was the interview with Chryseis Knight, the world's youngest author? Go ahead, comment below, and get inspired. Age is merely a number, and you can start writing from today. Like, you would have learned a lot of things in her interview. Just go ahead, put in that in the comment for others to read and get motivated as well. And for people who are a part of Udaan, you can get your certificate of participation in Udaan by clicking on the link that is given, with this video, and get inspired, and start writing from today. Take care, and the next session will shortly start. It is by somebody who is again not from India. It's gonna be amazing. So stay tuned, and I'll catch up in the next session. Take care. Bye bye.